Manage negative thoughts. Look for unrealistically negative thoughts that may be influencing you. Once you've started to make changes, the way you think about the process can also greatly affect how motivated you'll be to keep going. Be on the alert for these types of thoughts that will tempt you to shy away from change. This will never work. I can't handle doing something different. It will be too hard. It'll be too stressful to give up the things I like. What I'm doing now isn't that bad. There's no sense in trying because I tried something like that before and it didn't help. I don't deal with change well. Just because you think it will be difficult doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Often, some of the best things in life come from our ability to conquer a challenge through hard work. Create a successful plan for change. Preparing for the change can be the most important step. Create a plan for how you'll implement the change and how you'll stick to it. Once you have a plan in place, then you can implement the behavioral change one small step at a time. Initially, Richard told himself he needed to lose 75 pounds. Thinking about that huge number, however, overwhelmed him. He just didn't think it was possible. He started each day with the best of intentions, but by the evening, he slid back into his old habits. It wasn't until he began focusing on what he could do today that he was able to start making helpful behavioral changes. By establishing smaller goals, such as losing 5 pounds, he was able to create action steps that he could do each day. He kept a food journal, packed his lunch instead of dining out, and went for a short walk with his family on the days he didn't go to the gym. Unless you're dealing with an all-or-nothing type of change, you can create change in incremental steps. Prepare for making the change with these steps. Create a goal for what you would like to accomplish in the next 30 days. Sometimes people try to change everything all at once. Identify one goal that you want to focus on first and establish a realistic expectation for what you'd like to see change in 1 month's time. Establish concrete behavior changes you can make to reach that goal each day. Identify at least one step you can take each day to move closer to your goal. Anticipate obstacles along the way. Make a plan for how you will respond to specific challenges that you're likely to encounter. Planning ahead can help you stay on track. Establish accountability. We do best when we establish some type of accountability for our progress. Enlist the help of friends and family who can provide support and check in with you about your progress. Be accountable to yourself by writing down your progress daily. Monitor your progress. Determine how you'll keep track of your progress. Keeping a record of your efforts and daily achievements can help you stay motivated to maintain changes. Behave like the person you want to become. If your goal is to be more outgoing, behave in a friendly manner. If you want to be a successful salesperson, study how successful salespeople behave and then do what they do. You don't necessarily have to wait until you feel like it or until the right time comes. Start changing your behavior now. Richard wanted to be healthier, so he needed to behave like a healthy person. Eating a healthy diet and engaging in more physical activity were two things Richard could start doing to get closer to his goals. Clearly identify the type of person you'd like to be. Then, be proactive about becoming that person. So often I hear, I wish I could have more friends. Don't wait for friends to come to you. Start acting like a friendly person now and you can develop new friendships. Embracing change will make you stronger. Judge Greg Mathis was raised in the projects of Detroit during the 1960s and 1970s. As a teenager, he was arrested many times, and he dropped out of school to join a gang. At the age of 17, while incarcerated at a juvenile detention center, his mother was diagnosed with colon cancer. Mathis was offered early probation as a result of her illness and promised his dying mother he'd turn his life around once and for all. His probation terms required him to maintain a job, and he began working at McDonald's. He was accepted to Eastern Michigan University and went on to law school. Due to his criminal history, he wasn't able to get a job as a lawyer, but that didn't stop him from finding ways to help the city of Detroit. He became manager of the Detroit neighborhood city halls. Around the same time, he and his wife established Young Adults Asserting Themselves, a nonprofit agency that helped young people find employment. A few years later, Mathis decided to run for judge. Although his opponents reminded the community of his criminal background, the people of Detroit believed Mathis was a changed man. Mathis was elected the youngest judge in Michigan's history after beating out the 20-year incumbent. Judge Mathis soon gained Hollywood attention, and in 1999, he began a successful TV show where he settles small claims disputes. Once a criminal himself, Judge Mathis now donates much of his time and energy to helping young people make better decisions in their lives. He tours the country offering youth and education expos that encourage young people to make the best choices they can for their future. He's received multiple awards and commendations for his ability to inspire young people to avoid making the same mistakes he made in his life. Sometimes change results in a complete transformation that could alter the entire course of your life. So often, when people become committed to create change in one area of their lives, like pay off their debt, before they know it, they're also losing weight and their marriages improve. Positive change leads to increased motivation, and increased motivation leads to more positive change. Embracing change is a two-way street. Troubleshooting and common traps. Unfortunately, your life will change whether you want it to or not. Change created by job loss, death of a loved one, a friend moving away, or kids moving out are all a part of life. When you practice adapting to the small changes, you'll be better prepared to deal with the large inevitable changes that come your way. Pay attention to the way you handle change. Watch out for warning signs that you may be avoiding important change that could ultimately improve your life. Although change can feel uncomfortable, you won't be able to increase your mental strength unless you're willing to grow and improve. What's helpful? Evaluating your readiness to change with an open mind. Setting a realistic time frame to establish and reach your goals. Balancing your emotions and rational thoughts to help you make a decision about whether to do something different. Willingness to anticipate potential obstacles that could interfere with your progress. Reviewing the potential pros and cons of making a change as well as the pros and cons of staying the same. Focusing on one small change at a time with clear action steps. Committing to behaving like the person you want to become. What's not helpful? Ignoring or avoiding even thinking about change. Putting off doing anything different until you reach certain milestones or until certain time frames have passed. Allowing your emotions to dictate whether you want to change without considering the logical aspects of doing something different. Making excuses for why you can't do anything different. Only focusing on the negative aspects of change without considering the positive. Convincing yourself not to bother trying to change because you don't think you can do it. Waiting until you feel like creating change. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.